Hello BookTube, my name is Juan, I'm just one reader, and today I am filming the Try a Chapter book tag. So I chose 10 books from my current 2016 TBR. I went a little bit crazy because I have no self-control whatsoever, so I chose 10 books. I will probably not read the entire first chapter of every book, but I'll try to read something, a little sample that will give me like a taste of what the book's gonna be like. So the books I will be reading today for this tag are Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness, The Dumb House by John Burnside, Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers, The Rabbitback Literature Society by Pasi Ilmari Jasklainen. At least that's how it looks. I have no idea how to pronounce this. Yeah. Swamplandia by Karen Russell. Really excited about this. The Vegetarian by Han Kang. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell, and Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. These last three books that I mentioned are books that I've had forever, and I've always meant to read them, but for some reason I haven't ever. So I think this tag is a great opportunity. So I'll go ahead and read the first couple of pages of every book that I just mentioned, and I will come back. Okay, so I just finished reading the first three pages of The Crane Wife, and I really enjoyed it. It has this beautiful writing style, and it really conveys a tone of loneliness. We follow a character that is almost definitely a very solitary character, and it's a man who has been divorced for 10 years. He lives alone in this house, and one night he wakes up just in the middle of the night and he starts hearing this sound, and apparently he is going to discover a bird, which, it's kind of obvious. But yeah, I really liked the tone, the writing style, and it has this kind of weird, wintry, melancholy tone that I really enjoyed. Okay, so I just read the first couple of pages of The Vegetarian by Han Kang, and I can definitely see why people are loving it so much. I just read the first two pages, and I think that was enough for me to form an opinion and an idea and sort of predict if I'm going to enjoy this novel or not. And I think I am definitely going to love it. Just just talking about writing style, I thought it was perfect. I thought it was right on point. I can predict that this is going to be a very literary book, very literary, but very fast paced. I loved the writing style. It is so beautiful and so excellently well crafted, but it feels very accessible at the same time. It's definitely a character driven narrative, and I would love to read a book like this in the near future. So Swamplandia is a book that I've been wanting to read forever, and reading the first couple of pages just made me want to pick it up right now. It's so good. I have never read Karen Russell before, and I can definitely see why I'm going to love her. Her writing style in just these first couple of pages was so original, so different. It felt fresh, vibrant, elegant, and eloquent, yet incredibly playful and dark at the same time, with some mythical feeling in it and a very weird, playful tone. I don't really know how to describe it. I just know I want to keep reading. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so I just read the first pages of The Bone Clocks, and The Bone Clocks is one of those books that is just really intimidating. I've owned it for like a year and I haven't dared pick it up. Mainly, this is because I read Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell last year, and I was incredibly disappointed on that book. I thought it was incredibly boring. I thought that the premise was really original and the format was amazing, but the stories themselves were just very dull for me. and the writing style was very heavy. So I was pleasantly surprised. In this book, his writing style is very different. It feels much more accessible. I was surprised to find that there was a lot of dialogue, so that made it move along in a much more fluent way than Cloud Atlas did. And I'm not sure this is a book that I would pick up right now. I think I would like to still hold on until like the summer when I can properly take my time to read it, but I am no longer as afraid of reading it. The Rabbitback Literature Society by unpronounceable author's name is definitely a book that I'm going to love. It feels very much like The Shadow of the Wind in terms of it's a book meant to be read by bookish people. It has a lot of references for other books, such as Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, which is, by the way, one of my favorite classics. That means one of the few classics that I've actually read. And the protagonist feels very relatable, very bookish as well, and I just think it's going to be a great adventure. I can predict from this beautiful cover that it's going to involve some sort of whimsy and some sort of magical elements, fantastical elements, so I really cannot wait to find out what that is. Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro is a book that has definitely intrigued me. I'm not very sure what to make of it. It's definitely a book that you start reading and you immediately get the feel that the author is withholding some key information, and so you're kind of kept in the dark, which is really fun, but you slowly start to make inferences and predictions and try to guess and use clues from the context to try to piece the information together and make some sense of it. My only concern with this is that it seems to be very literary, yes, but my only concern is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of action or dialogue in the first couple of pages, so I'm worried that it might be a little bit of a slow book, which is not a problem in itself, but it can make me uh, if a book drags or is very slow, I could potentially have a problem with the experience of reading it, even if the book is wonderful. So that's my only concern, but the book itself seems really interesting. Mary Poppins just feels like the book I'm going to adore. This is a book that I wish I'd read when I was a child. I can't believe I waited so long to pick it up. It was perfect. It's everything I would have loved as a child, but thankfully I will still enjoy it as much as an adult. It is whimsical, it is playful, it is funny, yet the writing is so beautiful and British and elegant, and the characters and the context start building from the very first paragraphs. I just can't wait to fall in love with Mary Poppins, the book. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. This book feels very slow in the portion of it that I read, probably because the author, Betty Smith, is just setting up the context and the setting of Brooklyn. So it's like building up. Um, I still enjoyed it. It's not a book that I'm going to read right now just because of the quality of the writing, and it's a longer book, but I can definitely see it's a book with a lot of potential, with a lot of literary elements that I'm probably going to really enjoy. What is up with this book? The Dumb House by John Burnside is probably the right book for me. I acknowledge it, I recognize it, I confess. 100% fit for me. I thought the writing was exactly what I love. It was creepy and eerie, but so beautiful that you wanted to reread every sentence just right after you had read it. The character in this, the protagonist, is telling us something so weird and so evil, I want to say, but it's so beautiful and it's just it felt very literary and very poetic and very meaningful, and for some reason I've always been inclined to loving stories like this that are very creepy and dark and very humanly painful. It's something that shows human suffering. So I think this is super interesting. I think it can be very relevant and really poetic, and at the same time really dark, creepy, and enjoyable. So, wow. Peter Pan felt a little bit like Mary Poppins in regards to how playful and beautiful and close to the reader the writing style is. I really enjoyed it. This one is probably easier to follow. It's just much more straight to the point. It describes the members of the Darling family, and I just wanted to learn more and more. Honestly, I could really see myself reading this right now. Okay, so now that I'm finished reading all of the books I mentioned, I think I can make some sort of opinion or, yeah, sort of have a conclusion, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure. Let's see. The books that I for sure will not be reading anytime soon are Never Let Me Go, The Vegetarian, The Crane Wife, The Bone Clocks, and A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I really love them and I really want to read them, but I think I'm not going to pick them up very soon because of timing and school and my job and responsibilities. So I'm just gonna hold on to them until the time is right. So the books that I have left, I have 5 books left, and I think I'm not going to read The Dumb House anytime soon, anytime very soon, like this month. I'm not gonna read the Dumb House. This was probably my favorite one that I read today, but still, I mean, regardless of that, the timing is not right. So I'm really excited about this one. Like, you could not believe it, but when the time is right, the time is right, and right now it's not right. Um, then I think Swamplandia by Karen Russell follows the same kind of thing. I'm not going to read it right now. I'm also super happy that I read the first pages because it was everything that I was hoping for, and even more because it was just so gritty and dark and playful at the same time. So I was really shocked and surprised by that. So I have 3 remaining books. Of course, 2 of them are Mary Poppins and Peter Pan, which are children's literature, so they're easier to read. So I'll probably get to these in the near future. And the other one that is more adult or young adult was the Rabbitback Literature Society. I just think this can be really fun and fresh and fast-paced and really satisfying, as well as being very beautifully written. And it's a book for bookish people. Hello. So yeah, I think I'm going to read these 3 books first, probably. So if you have made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below 2 things, if you're so kind. First, which book did you enjoy or did you like from the ones that I mentioned? Which book do you think I should pick? Did I choose wisely or should I have chosen differently? And also you can let me know which one is the book that you are planning on reading next, because I always like hearing what people are going to read next. It's super exciting. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.